Hi, this is Ann at Often Software, and I'm going to teach you how to replace a TSP thermal head. You'll need a standard pair of pliers and a simple star head screwdriver. So here's your TSP printer. First thing you do is you flip it over and remove the 4 screws. I like to use a magnetic screwdriver to make it easier to get it out of the holes. Once you have all 4 screws removed, flip the unit back over, open the top of the unit, and then lifting from this side, you can actually pull it outwards, and you'll notice that it dislocates. You can then do the same thing for the other side. So the entire unit is now free floating. It's a little knob that comes out on this side. Don't worry, it is supposed to be free floating. So when it comes off, it's supposed to come off. Now, you can take the entire outside shell of this unit off. Start from the front. The bottom comes off. And if it's cooperating, that is. The rest of the unit comes off. Obviously you have to do a little bit of jank on it to get it to all come off. But you can see that you now have the shell of the unit, and you have the inside of the unit. A whole bunch of paper fluff will come out, especially if it's a used printer, so don't worry about that. Just try to clean it out a little bit if you can. Now here is what we're looking at. The head of the printer is on the inside here. Oh, this is the piece I was talking about. Again, don't worry, it's supposed to come out. The head of the unit is here, and it's connected back here. So what we need to do now is remove 3 screws. This one, and the one on the side here. Doesn't matter which order you do them in. So now that those 3 screws have been removed, this front plate can now be pressed in, moved downwards, and up and out. So again, just press it in, move it outwards, and then out. We now have a loose plate. Now the real meat of the matter is on these connections in here. These 2 pieces are what actually controls the print head. So what we're going to need to do is actually disengage the print head from the rest of the unit. Now, as you can see here, there's a tiny little bit of plastic that's actually holding these in place. It's not necessary for it to actually function, and it's basically just going to get in our way. So you can try to work around it, which will cause some issues, or using a standard pair of pliers, just take that one little piece of plastic off. You can see that we now have a loose piece of plastic. Don't even worry about it. Throw it away. Now, this entire unit can move up and down a little bit more freely. And we can pop the two of these out. Don't worry, they're not going to fall into the unit. They can't go anywhere. Now pushing from the bottom here, or I guess however it is that you can actually get it out, you should be able to pop the unit out. But first, we're going to need to get two more screws. This one and this one. They're actually what attaches the printhead to the rest of the unit. Alright, so now if we push the bottom, you see that it's actually free floating. And with that, we've removed the printhead. Now the printhead on this unit is actually still in good working condition, so I'm just going to be putting it right back in. So you can see the two slots there, little diodes there. And you can see on this side where it actually slides in. Slides in underneath this unit and in front of the little piece of plastic that's in the front here. So, with this side sticking out, we're going to put it back into the unit exactly where it started out before. Of course, you'll be doing it with a new head. Looking on the back side here, you can see that the two of these are nicely aligned. So now we're basically just going to assemble it in reverse. Take your screws, screw this unit back on where it started. Now this one you can't screw up. It's simply impossible. The screws only go in one way. You may or may not have noticed, but you have this little washer. It fits into the hole on this side, which allows it to actually properly connect to the rest of the unit. Now while you're doing this, you don't want to press too hard on the other side of the unit. You really don't want to bend the new printhead. These thermal units rely on pressure. Once it's been rubbed up against too many times, that pressure pretty much disappears. And that's actually why you're replacing it right now. It can be a little bit of hassle to align things, so take your time, do it right. And this is the most difficult part of the procedure. The best part is I said it's impossible for you to screw this up. Well, apparently I'm screwing this up. My hand in the way there, sorry about that. Alright, so now it's secured on those two sides. Now, we want to take these two pieces and reconnect them in. If you miss this step, well, you're going to have to be doing the entire thing again. Alright, so those are now reattached. Got the printhead nice and loaded in the front. Of course, you'll notice that it's all loose right now, not doing us a whole lot of good. And that's where this pressure plate comes in. So, first you slide it into this end, then you press down and up. So So you'll want to put all of the screws back in exactly where they came from the first time. This is a little grounding pressure plate here. Can be a little bit difficult to work with, but take your time. And of course the last one, back in here. Provided that you've installed it all correctly. You'll notice that this front one doesn't move around. Solid as a rock. So now, all we have to do is get the case all back together. So the first thing we do is pulling the lid, slide it over top. Line the lid with the front and slide it in. You'll want to make sure that the wires along here are lined up with the hole along the back. See it right in here? You'll need to grab this little cog and put it with this side, the extra little knobs, facing outwards. You see how it's back in there? Put this side in first, and then this side. Now you kind of have to bend the outside a little bit. Don't worry, it's elastic. It will fit itself back in where it's supposed to be, provided that you're not wrenching it too much out of position. With that, lid's now swinging freely. It's in position. Got to make sure that this cog's on. It's really easy for it to fall off. Close the lid entirely. Flip it back over. Again, you want to clean it out. Make sure that it's nice and clean in there, since you're in there anyways. This one can be a little bit difficult to line up just because these back knobs have to go in. Nice loud crack, but it's all in there. No harm whatsoever is done. Put your last screwdrivers in, or your screws in here. And there you go. Change the printout on your TSP printer.